Welcome to Nitty Gritty Real Estate. In this series, we're interviewing Matt Cox. He's a con man who committed tens of millions in bank fraud and served 12 years in prison as a result. We don't condone his criminal behavior, but we're tapping into his unique real estate knowledge so that we can become better investors. So Matt, what was your motivation to begin committing fraud in the first place?
I was 25 years old. I graduated USF, and I was having a hard time just basically just making ends meet. I was working a job in construction. I'd been laid off from a couple different insurance companies I'd worked for, and I ended up working construction. And the girl that I was dating at the time, she'd gotten a job working for a subprime lender. And after she'd been there a month or two, she came home one day and she said, "Listen, you've got to do this. You would be amazing at this." She said, "These guys, they get on the phone, they talk, they put deals together." She's like, "You're super smart. You could definitely figure this out. You could definitely do this. This is what you were born to do." She goes, "I'm telling you right now, you would absolutely be amazing at this." And I was like, I'm coming home dirty every day. I got cuts on me. My knuckles are bruised up. It's back-breaking work. And I'm like, by this point, I think I'm 26 or 27. I think I'm like 27 at this point. And it was just, I was like, I got to do something else. I got to try. And so it's funny, I actually tried and worked there about a month and closed like 4 deals like my first month. But didn't get paid. I was actually behind on my mortgage, my car payment. Like I went really, really in the red just trying to make this work. So I did great. It was like 4 loans, then it was 8, then it was 12, then they made me a manager. Then it just went, it blew up after that. And then I'm buying rental properties. Then I opened my own brokerage business. I'm flipping properties, the whole thing. So at that point, I owned the brokerage business.
Mm-hmm. How long did you own your own brokerage business before you started the fraud mortgages?
No, the very first loan I ever did contained fraud.
Oh, okay.
This was a subprime lender.
Yeah.
Listen, the FBI, I think the statistic is they say something like 20% of all bank loans, all FDIC insured bank loans contain fraud. So what do you think it is from a lender or a correspondent lender or a brokerage business that isn't even connected to a bank? And these aren't even conventional loans. These are subprime loans. This is just off the chart type of lending, and you're lending to people that just don't meet the same criteria. Mm-hmm. And you have to get, you get creative.
You just, subprime loans, like low credit scores, short job histories.
Right, or multiple different jobs, or they don't pay taxes.
And the idea is you're trying to make this loan
you're doing
work.
Everything. If you walk into Bank of America and you say the wrong thing, I'm sorry, they have no incentive to get you the loan.
Yeah.
This is a loan officer who's making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, who works in a bank, and it doesn't make a difference to him whether you get that loan or not. I don't care. I'm getting paid no matter what. There's no incentive for me to get you this loan. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, you made $1,000 less than you have to make. I'm sorry. They don't even try and say, do you get any additional income? Do you this? Do you that? What about your spouse? They're not even trying. Oh, I'm sorry. Your debt to income ratio is a little bit high. I'm sorry. You can't. Done. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe next time. Next year when you make more money, come back. It's like, or look for a house that you don't need it to. Next thing you know, it's like, what the hell? You come to me and it's like, listen. Let's talk about it. Go get me your pay stub. How much money does your wife make? Do you get money for child support? Is your kid disabled? Do you get this? Next thing you know, I'm really working to try and figure this out. And how can we get you in that house? Because if I get you in that house, I'm liable to make $3,000 or $4,000. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's a huge incentive there. Mm-hmm. And you get to the point where you're $1,000 off. If that one was a 2,
little whiteout.
I make $4,000.
Yeah.
This is a 1.
Yeah.
So I started I said, yeah. He said, I have a degree in fine arts from USF, so let's make a slight alteration. Maybe underwriting catches it, maybe they don't. And if they do, then it's, oh yeah, what happened? That's crazy. So that's what happened. Is it just escalated, especially when you get away with the first one. Never been so scared as I was the very first loan that I altered something on. I just whited out a 30-day late. The girl happened to have been 30 days late in the last 2 years on her rent. I just whited it out, and I waited, sweated bullets for 4 or 5 days. They came back and said, when do you want to close? We closed a couple days after that. I got a check for $3,500. I mean, after that, I was emboldened. So.
And that's how it gets easier and easier.
It just gets easier and easier. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, one minute you're stealing candy in 7-Eleven. Next thing you know, you're kicking in the door at Bank of America with an AK-47. I mean, it just escalates.
Yeah, and then you just start adding zeros instead of
yeah. It's all about
moving that decimal point. Okay.
So
interesting. Subscribe to Nitty Gritty Real Estate for more interview videos of Matthew Cox. Together we'll learn how to become better real estate investors by learning from those who have unique perspectives in the industry. Thanks for watching.